Hey, what's going on, guys? Checking in. I can't even keep up with the news anymore. I was talking about Tesla in a previous video. Maybe I'll release them at the same time, but Tesla stock sentiment is near all-time lows. But the funny thing is, Tesla stock keeps making lower highs. It keeps bouncing off the support levels that it needs to, and it's still a bullish structure. I'm gonna give a shout out to a few people. Maybe they'll retweet this, who knows, but they're the ones, very few accounts that I don't put in the category of toxic bulls and toxic bears. I'll put up here, their Twitter handles right there, but the Great Matsby, Kenton Meow, and Tracker, formerly known as Tesla Tracker. Tesla Tracker is good for very short-term Fibonacci levels or whatever you want to call it. Great Matsby and Kenton Meow are good. The only criticism I have is they're both kind of perma bulls, but that's okay, because what does a stock market do over time? It goes up. And they've called out a lot of stocks in particular, like Coinbase and Palantir, Robinhood, and they haven't gotten too bullish on Tesla until very recently. They add at support and get cautious at resistance, and that's the name of the game. Buy low, sell high. So kudos to Great Matsby if you guys happen to see this, and Kenton Meow, fellow Asian brother, what's up? But I would follow these accounts. If you're a long-term hold investor, then it doesn't really matter. But if you want to take profits, long-term swing trading where you might want to add and where you might want to take profits, I would highly recommend following those accounts. It helps when Tesla's dumping and the rest of the market is going to the moon and you're feeling shitty that everyone's getting rich around you, but you're not. These guys can help you have a little more conviction. But as I was saying, Tesla stock itself has all-time sentiment, but it's at 326 as I'm recording this today. If you would have asked me when I first went all in on Tesla stock back in the day in 2022 and it's 320, I would be like, hallelujah, I must be rich by now. But even me, myself, I'm not satisfied, and that's all by design, because Elon continues to make a lot of noise with his politics while he's laying the foundation for the next wave up. As I said, like Tesla, for any car sales declining, they've kind of addressed that. They have the car showroom in India. They have the new Model Y 6-seater. They're doing lots of promotions because there's going to be a lot of pull forward demand in Q3, because in September, their credits end. But hopefully it coincides with declining car sales that the market, all these dickhead bears that keep complaining about car sales, that probably by Q3, Q4 of this year, Tesla will change the narrative from a cars company to an AI and robotics company. Because Elon, it's like a real-time strategy computer game. You guys ever play that, where you're getting your ass kicked by the opposing army and you're just trying to defend, but you're building up your units for your economy. You're expanding your base like in a StarCraft or Command and Conquer, and then boom, all of a sudden your expansions are fortified. You invested your minerals. Must mine more minerals than Vespine gas. Your minerals shoot up, and then you freaking build a whole bunch of barracks and you annihilate your enemies. That's what they've done these past few years. They've invested in their energy sector. They invested in AI. They have the biggest AI GPU clusters. Dojo 2 is mass producing in December. FSD, they cracked the code. That's why he's not sweating it. They're rolling out Robotaxi cautiously, but it's gonna expand and it's only gonna get better from here. These are not bringing in revenue right here. So I still maintain that the bears right now, in the very short term, the bears, they're not wrong that they're not bringing in revenue with those things, except for the mega packs, thank God. And I got a lot of flack from my last video about this guy doesn't understand the company, but you cannot refute the fact that if you've been in Tesla for the past 3 or 4 years, depending on when you got in, you're really not making any money. And there's been a huge opportunity cost by being in Tesla versus a Nvidia, a Palantir, now Coinbase, and some other things. You could have been in Fartcoin all in, and you would have made more money than being in Tesla. So that fact remains. Tesla the company and Tesla the stock are two different things. One day in the future, the fundamentals will match and PE ratio starts to matter. But right now, Tesla is just a liquidity tool for the global elites to extract wealth. They can move it 10% up and 10% down at any time they want. And they've done a great job of shaking out the retail trader. They've had the biggest bulls panic sell. They've had people that used to love Tesla and Elon wear anti-Elon bumper stickers on their car and sold all their stock. So if you've been this patient, just hold on a little more, and I'll keep repeating that. And I'm gonna be the only guy telling you, right now I'm telling you to hold and buy, where most people are telling you Tesla's falling off a cliff and that Trump is his enemy and there's EV credit going away is gonna kill. Get out of Tesla now. I'm telling you to add more. Fuck it, buy more or hold what you got. And I'll be the only guy later on telling you to sell. Because again, the Fed is lubing us up, getting us all bullish, and euphoria is gonna hit the markets. Look at, guys, no one listened to me, but I called out Unity stock. I'm up 30 grand on Unity stock. When Roaring Kitty announces his position, that shit will pump 50% in a day. So I'm not selling it. I've taken a tiny bit of profits because I don't want to get theta decayed. But look, if you look at the market today, the bears are begging for a pullback, but all we're having is a rotation into the forgotten stocks, the small caps and the altcoins. I'm finally even on crypto. I bought way too early, but Link is my second largest position, Chainlink, after Tesla. And my target for Chainlink is 70. And rotation itself is very bullish. The time to go into your most degenerate favorite penny stocks and altcoins is now, because they're setting up for retail to be exit liquidity. Look at this. Let's post up the psychology of the stock market. Where do you guys think we are in this? Maybe we're in belief, or I don't think we're in euphoria. Some people would argue we're almost in disbelief, because there are a lot of people out there that are refusing to participate in this market. There's a lot of guys saying this is the mother of all blow off top rallies. Who knows how far it goes? But we don't know. We don't know. I think Tesla stock, it's all meant to play out this way. It's meant to play out that when you're happy with your Tesla gains, you take profit and the market dumps shortly after. So in a strange way, maybe we're going to benefit from this. Maybe. I don't know. But I wanted to reiterate, as it pertains to money and stocks, there's so much noise. As I said a few videos ago, I talked about LA riots, right? No one is talking about that right now, right? At the time, it was a big deal. And then we moved on to the Israel-Iran 12-day war. That was a big deal too at the time. And then we talked about Elon-Trump feud when he tweeted about the Epstein list. Then he talked about the America Party. Just recently, we talked about the Epstein list even more. All of MAGA is in disarray. They're turning on each other. You have every podcast and their mom, Comedy Central, Democrats on the left, Republicans on the right, all turning their back on Trump. And also in the meantime, while everyone's been talking about the Epstein list, this distraction, this theater, what has gone solely in the background? Market is at all-time highs. It's not a coincidence, guys. There's a lot of people still out there that they panic sold in April at the lows, and they're still on the sidelines. And they're distracted with the Epstein list and getting pissed off, while the rich continue to get richer. Remember, the top 2% of the richest people own 98% of all stocks. And now, while this Epstein stuff is going on, you have the Crypto Genius Act that passed. He passed a new thing with now pensions and 401ks can invest in private equity and crypto. All fuel, guys, for this blow off top rally. If this is your first rodeo, you're like, yo, all this stuff is mega bullish. But if you've been like me and this is not your first rodeo, you've seen this all before. That they're just lining it up for euphoria to hit the markets. Everyone's gonna feel like a genius. Everyone's gonna be rich. And then the rich quietly in the background sell off. And Joe Schmo is left holding the bag for the next boom bust cycle. You have to pay attention to the Fed. I said before that Jerome Powell, he looks unassuming and non-threatening, and that's by design as well. He looks like a librarian, right? Like in Breaking Bad, Gus Fring. And look at Janet Yellen and Ben Bernanke and Alan Greenspan. They all look just these old boomer types. And that's to distract, like, kind of make you not pay attention to them, like evil in plain sight. But they are evil scumbags. They're the accountants of the global elites that continue to ruin the middle class, devalue our money, continue to make the wealthy even more rich, to give control and influence and power to the global elites. No one's paying attention. And people are saying, what are you talking? It's not a government entity. And people will argue, the president signed the chairman of the Fed. Oh yeah? They assigned them just like all these other people are assigned. They're chosen. There's no fucking democratic process. It's all by design. They put who they want in there. They take who they want out of there. If it looks like Jerome Powell and Trump are having some public spat, that's controlled opposition. You know, it's funny how everyone's slightly red-pilled and everyone's pointing at Israel, like why are they controlling our government? For whatever reason, they want these people to take the bad rep for now. And that's by design. They want you to talk bad about Israel. Like a Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, they're part of a not-so-obvious establishment, controlled opposition. Time will tell what the agenda is, but don't be fooled again. It's one big club, guys, and we're not in it. And it always goes back to the money. They got everyone talking about these latest things because, yeah, don't get me wrong, it's a very, very hot topic because it resonates with the working class. The Epstein list is a representation of everything that is wrong with the world and society. That the ultra wealthy, that they can be pedophiles, that they can do these horrible, inhumane things, and they can get away scot-free. And if someone steals something from the store or doesn't pay their taxes, we get thrown in jail. It's all kinds of wrong. And the global elites, since some people, very few people are onto the scent and onto them, they gotta get ahead of it. They gotta give us something to feel like, oh, we figured it out. We're gonna get to them. But no, the global elites, they're always 4, 5, 6, 7 steps ahead, and they work together and they use their media muscle and influence to just look here while they're on to the next move that they're planting seeds 10, 20 years from now. But I get it. The Epstein list, we should be very upset about it. It represents the great disparity between the global elites and the working class. And yeah, it's upsetting, man. So what can we do? I don't want to be like hopeless and negative. What can we do? We can realize what they're doing, be aware, focus on ourselves and our family, get rich from the stock market because again, they're lining us up that Trump is his great, best leader of all time. Stock market has never been stronger. Get in now because you'll be rich. And yes, if you follow it for a while, you should make tons of money that will serve your family and you well because they're gonna sweep the leg, Cobra Kai style, and just massive, massive recession. History repeats itself, and that's it. So what are my positions? I'm mega long right now. I'm still in small caps IWM. I'm still hella long in Tesla, about like 600K in Tesla, maybe more. I'm in Unity. I've just bought some Tom Lee Bitmine, the BMNR, because Ethereum, who knows how far Ethereum will go. And it's like the MicroStrategy of Ethereum right now. I'm in AMD, and yes, I'm in Chainlink again. And I'm sticking to my target. I'll leave some YOLO money, but my plan is to hit my target, go into long bonds like a TLT and lots of cash, do 4-week T-bills, live off of theta, and that's my goal. I want to get in a spot where I have more control, where I'm not at the whims of the market makers just fucking with certain stocks. And I want to be able to, you can make a living off of selling options. If a dumbass like me can make 500 bucks a day selling options with little to no risk, and I sleep like a baby. You can do it too. You guys can do it too. But that's my end goal. Teach people how to make options, maybe add a little tool in your tool belt to supplement your income. That's my positioning right now. Tell me what you guys are super bullish on. I've missed the boat on several things like Robinhood, and what else is there? I can't keep up anymore. But guys, stay wealthy, stay healthy, ignore the noise, ignore the distractions. Have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys later.